All right, people, ladies and gentlemen, fight fans all around the world. You can see, let's talk some boxing. Don't forget you can subscribe to my channel as well as donate via Western Union or MoneyGram. Let's talk about some boxing here. As you can see from the title, the question was posed: is Floyd Mayweather or Manny Pacquiao better than Vasily Lomachenko? Some of you are going to jump to the conclusion immediately. Yes, absolutely, they are better than Vasily Lomachenko. I was watching at Imran uh, TV. Imran, I think he's Khan as well. Imran Khan, I think is his name. TV, and he was addressing this. He said, how Vasily Lomachenko kind of boxed Luke Campbell, but didn't really dominate him, stop him, that kind of stuff. He said Manny Pacquiao at lightweight would have run through Luke Campbell. Floyd Mayweather would run through Luke Campbell. And one of those things may be true. Um, there's a lot of hype. There's a lot of hype around Vasily Lomachenko, and it has been said that Vasily Lomachenko, you know, Bob Arum said he's the greatest thing I've ever seen since Muhammad Ali. So there's that kind of hype. And there's things circulating that he was better than Floyd Mayweather, he's better than Manny Pacquiao. Okay. All right, so what I'm going to say is the phenomenon of Vasily Lomachenko, to be fair, is incredible. I was listening to EJ Boxing Line, and they were talking about other fighters from the past and how they equate to Vasily Lomachenko, but I just don't think so. I just don't think so. I think that this is a special fighter. This fighter had a championship fight in his second fight. Championship fight. Now, yeah, you could talk about throwback fighters and that, champions fought debutants and they were championship fights. We can think of guys like Joe Louis, who faced some debutants in his championship fights and stuff like that. But what I'm talking about here is Floyd Mayweather even faced a debutant, right? And Conor McGregor. But Luke Campbell, in his second championship fight, fought Orlando Salido and damn near came close to beating him. It was a split decision loss, right? And in his third fight, he won the championship against Gary Russell Jr. That's kind of crazy, all right, when you think about it. And then defended his championship belts, never lost another fight. Defended his championship belts, not against debutants now, experienced fighters. All right. So anyway, when you look at what Vasily Lomachenko has done in 15 fights, we were baffling in all, but Guillermo Regular was doing in his few fights. You got to give it Vasily Lomachenko is in a class all by himself. Now, other people were talking about other people. I think EJ Boxing Live was talking when I was on the Hangout just a minute ago about certain things. But in my opinion, just my personal opinion, I think that Vasily Lomachenko is special in what he's accomplished so far and his resume. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. So I have in front of me here Vasily Lomachenko's resume. I got Manny Pacquiao's resume, and I got Floyd Mayweather's resume. Let's look at Manny Pacquiao's resume, right? We're looking at the same number of fights in the beginning of Manny Pacquiao's career. Scroll all the way down. I had a little difficulty with the phone. Hold on a second. Okay. So let me put this here. It'll slide. Brace it. Hold on a second. I need to brace it. What's cracking? Fernando Montero. What's up, sir? I'm okay, man. Oh, camera still wants to fall down on me, even after I brace it. That's incredible. Okay, let's try this exercise. Oh shit. Hey, we're braced. Hopefully we don't slide down. Oh shit, this thing's gonna slide down. You son of a... You're just working? All right. Man, at least one of us is working. All right, tomorrow I got to really get to work as well. All right, what's cracking, bro? Just working. Shout out to Fernando Montero, Intangible Boxing. Shout out to you. Lomachenko won't go. Lomachenko won't go to 140 because Mike Alvarado, as shown in his last fight, can make the limit. All right, I want to show you guys something though. Manny Pacquiao. All right, in his first 14 fights. Okay, let's see what he did. He faced a guy called Edmund Enting Ignacio, who was 1-1. Won one fight, lost one fight. He went a 4-rounder. All right, a 4-rounder. And he beat the guy by unanimous decision. This was at 106. They weighed in at 107. He faced Pinoy Montejo. That's his second fight. He had a record of 2-4. 2 wins, 4 losses. And he went 4 rounds with that guy. It was a 4-rounder as well. He then faced Rocky Palmer with a record of 4-0-1. So this guy actually won almost all his fights and drew 1. Okay? Don't slide off. And that was his 3rd fight, Rocky Palmer. His 4th fight was 110, 111 pounds. It was against Dele Desierto. And this guy was winning. He had no losses, 4 wins. He knocked the guy out in 2 rounds. It was a 6-rounder. His 5th fight was Acacio Simbajon. And it was a guy 4-1-1. Out of his 6 fights, he lost 1, drew 1, won 4. It's a 6-rounder, went the distance, unanimous decision. He then faced Arman Rosil. He had a record of 8-19-4, which means he had 31 fights, of which he lost 19, won 8, and drew 4. Knocked him out in 3. It was an 8-rounder. All right. It was a 6th fight. 7th fight, Lolito Laroa, sorry. 4-7-2, went 8 rounds, unanimous decision. Then Renato Mendones knocked him out in 2, went 8. He was 3-3. Then faced Rodolfo Fernandez. This was his 10th fight. 8-9-5. Knocked him out in 3. His first 10-rounder. He then faced Rolando Toyogun. Second 10-rounder. 11 fight. 12-11-2. It went the distance. In his 13th fight, Lito Toreros. He's now fighting at 112 pounds, which is flyweight. Technical decision 5 of 10 because of a cut. He won by technical decision. 14th fight, Rostico Torrecampo. The notorious Rostico Torrecampo fight, where he was knocked out in the 3rd round. Rostico Torrecampo was 11-4-5. And his 15th fight was against Marlon Carrillo, who was 21-7-3. Really impressive record. 21 wins, 7 losses, 3 by draws. And he had a unanimous decision win over him. That's his 15 fights for Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. All right. Let's look at Floyd Mayweather. His first 15 fights. First guy he faced was Roberto Apodaca. He was at 130 pounds, super featherweight. He knocked out Apodaca in the 2nd of a 4-rounder. 4 rounds. The second fight was against Reggie Sanders, the southpaw, who had it 1-1. And he got a unanimous decision over 4 rounds against him. Third fight was against Jerry Cooper, who was 6-3-0. Knocked him out in the 1st round. Fourth fight was against Edgar Ayala, who was debuting, and he knocked him out in the second round. Then he faced Kino Rodriguez, and he knocked him out in the first round. That's 5 fights. His sixth fight was against Bobby Gearpert. This guy had he had 27 fights, 19 wins, 8 losses. He knocked him out in the first round. Then he faced Tony Duran, who had 12 wins, 15 losses, 1 draw. He knocked him out in the first round. Larry Shields was his 8th victim. 12 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, and it went the distance of 6 rounds. He then faced Jesus Chavez, who had a losing record. He only had 1 win in 15 fights, and he knocked him out in the 5th round. Interestingly enough. All right, let me see how many people that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 people. So his 10th person was Larry O'Shields. He had 12 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, and he went the distance with him. Unanimous decision. That was his 10th fight. Jesus Chavez. Didn't I talk about Jesus Chavez? I talked about Jesus Chavez. That was the 9th fight. Okay. Louis Leja was his 10th fight. 18-3-1. So he's fighting a guy with a lot more fights than him, a lot more wins than him. And this would be his 10th fight. Knocked him out in the second round. In his 11th fight, he faced Felipe Garcia, 14-19-1. He knocked him out in the 6th round of an 8-rounder. Then he faced Angelo Nunes, 14-11-3. He knocked him out in the 5th round. All right, so we're talking about 10-11-12. His 13th fight was Sam Gerard, who was 17-4-1, and he knocked him out in the 2nd round. Fourteenth fight was Miguel Melo, 8-1. He knocked him out in the 3rd round. 15th fight was Gustavo Fabian Coelho. It was a tough fight because he couldn't knock the dude out from Argentina. 27-0. All right? So when you look at Pacquiao's first 15 fights, when you look at Floyd Mayweather's first 15 fights, let's compare Lomachenko's first 15 fights, shall we? So he only had 15 fights. That's his career so far. His first fight, his very first fight, Lomachenko, was a 10-rounder. He faced Jose Ramirez, who was 25-3-0. Knocked him out in the 4th round of a 10-rounder at featherweight. That was his first fight. He jumped right into it. He didn't want no 4-rounder. He didn't want no 6-rounder. He didn't want no warm-up. He didn't want no 8-rounder. He went straight into a championship fight. 10-rounder. His second fight was for the world championship against Orlando Salido. We all know where that fight went. Split decision loss to Orlando Salido in 12 rounds. There's a 12-rounder in your second fucking fight. Think about that. Orlando Salido, by the way, his record was 41-12-2. This man had faced world champions. This man had been a world champion. This man was a world champion after this fight. God damn it. Come on, peoples. Come on. Second professional fight? Come on. Not even Gary Mariga did that. Come on. Gary Allen Russell Jr. 24-0-0, undefeated world champion. Oh no, he wasn't a world champion yet. He was going for the championship. The vacant WBO World Featherweight title. This is going to be Lomachenko's second attempt at the title. Gary Russell Jr.'s first attempt at the title. Right? Beats him by majority decision. Okay? After this, he defends that title against Surya Tatakun. 51-1-0. This man has 52 fights, lost one of them. Lomachenko beat him. This was his 4th fight. His fifth fight was against Gamilier Rodriguez, defending his title once again. 25-2-3. He knocked him out in the ninth round. Think about what I'm saying here. Now, there's a reason why Vasily Lomachenko could do this, but we will get back to that in a bit. After that, he faced Romulo Kowalczyka, or something like that. I don't know what I can't pronounce the name. 25-4-0. He knocked him out in the 10th round of 12-rounder. Defending his world featherweight title. He then goes on to face Roman Martinez at super featherweight. He goes up a weight class to the man at the weight class. The WBO champion, Roman Martinez. You know, Orlando Salinas and Roman Martinez, they keep on fighting for the position. You know how I go. Those two had this legacy of fighting each other. 25-2-3 at the time. Knocked him out in the 5th round. Spectacular knockout. You guys see it on the highlight reels. Then he goes on to face and defend his title against Nicholas Walters, who was stripped of the title because he couldn't make weight. Nicholas Walters was a force to reckon with. The guy who knocked out Nonito Donaire, the guy who comatose Victor Archinian, right? Threatened the division. He faces Nicholas Walters, who's undefeated, 26-0-1. And makes Nicholas Walters say no mas in the 7th round. He goes on to face Jason Sosa. Jason Sosa, who I think Nicholas Walters had faced. I can't remember. Jason Sosa's a good boxer. Nice inside fighter and so on. Defending his WBO super featherweight title. Notice it's mostly WBO stuff, but it is what it is, okay? And he also makes him say no mas. He goes on to face Miguel Mariaga, tough fighter, who gave Nicholas Walters a tough fight. 25-2-0. And he also said no mas. And then the fight that defines Lomachenko. In his, I don't know how many fights we have had so far. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In his 11th fight, of his very short career, Vasily Lomachenko faces Guillermo Rigondeaux. Now, Guillermo Rigondeaux is a very avoided fighter. And we're talking about man campaigns at super bantamweight. The man really is a bantamweight. He beats Nonito Donaire, and after that, he can't get a fight for nothing. Everybody's ducking him. Anybody below super bantamweight and everybody above super bantamweight, such that he could only get a really meaningful fight with Vasily Lomachenko, who was at super featherweight. He got to go all the way up to super featherweight. You tell you, super bantamweight, then you got featherweight, then you got super featherweight. He got to jump up 2 weight classes to face Vasily Lomachenko. And he faces him. And Lomachenko just outboxes his ass. Makes him quit in the 6th round. Lomachenko, one of the most avoided fighters in boxing, faces Lomachenko, and he has to quit. This is in his 11th fight. In his 12th fight, he faces Jorge Linares at lightweight. This is the quintessential quality lightweight champion, the #1 lightweight in the world. He knocks him out. That's right. He knocks him out in 10. Jorge Linares is 44-3-0. Linares has been stopped before because of his eye and stuff, but in this case, Linares is outboxed so much that he actually gets put down and stopped. And this is his 12th fight. Think about what I'm saying. And then in his 13th fight, he unifies with the WBA champion, Jose Pedraza, at lightweight. Because I think Jorge Linares is the WBA champion. The WBO champion is Jose Pedraza, who just beat Ray Beltran. All right? Very good fighter, switch hitter, all that. He does not stop Jose Pedraza, but he does put him down in the 11th round. But he can't put him away. Because Pedraza has got that, He's got that rolling movement. He's a switch hitter. You know, he got this awkward kind of bending style. He bobs and weaves a little bit. You know, he's a little bit awkward. Gives Lomachenko a lot of problems. Marks up Lomachenko's face. Lands a lot of good punches on him. You're talking about a different level of fighter and bigger. And so Jose Pedraza beats Lomachenko. Does not beat Lomachenko. What am I talking about? He beats Jose Pedraza nonetheless and drops him twice. This is a guy. Listen, all these guys got more fights than Lomachenko. At least pro. All right? He then goes on to face Anthony Corolla. And let me tell you how good Lomachenko is. Anthony Corolla gave a competitive fight against, I think it was Kevin Mitchell, one of them guys in the UK. He's a UK fighter. And, you know, Anthony Corolla was, you know, he gave an entertaining fight. You know what I'm saying? This was a whitewash. Corolla had no chance against Lomachenko. He shut him out, and then he knocked him out. Like, literally, this was a KO knockout. This was like a KO knockout. This wasn't a TKO now. He knocked his ass out in the 4th round of a 12-rounder. Knocked him down multiple times. It is what it is. And finally, he faced, defending his title and getting a vacant WBC title, he faced Luke Campbell in his 15th fight. And Luke Campbell gave him a good fight. And Luke Campbell, to be fair, I mean, the judges' scoring is not fair at all. Luke Campbell, you know, won some of the earlier rounds, some of the middle rounds. He won some of the middle rounds. I thought that the fight was more of an 8-4 fight than it was a shutout. You know, some people had it 10-2. Some had it 119-108 and all kinds of shit. Now, Luke Campbell got knocked down. All right? He got knocked down. There's nothing he could do about that. He got knocked down. That was his fault. He was fighting a good fight, though. And he was in it. But at the end of the day, he got beat. And that was Lomachenko's 3rd unification. So he had the WBC, he had the WBA, and he had the WBO titles. And now he may be able to finish it off by going after the IBF title. He should have really had the WBA, WBC. He kind of like Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather had the WBA, WBC, and WBO titles at welterweight, and he never had the IBF recently when he did the PACQUIAO thing and so on. He should have fought Kell Brook, but he did do. Well, Lomachenko has the opportunity to complete that and become undisputed lightweight champion of the world. Hasn't happened since Pernell Whitaker. And we're talking about he doing that in 16 fucking fights. In the context of achievement in a very few amount of fights and quality oppositions, I will say this on the record. Lomachenko is better than Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. In that context, he's better. Abso-fucking-lutely. And so, based on that, just the quality of opposition and the consistent quality of opposition this man has faced in so few fights, yeah, he's better than Floyd and Pacquiao in that respect. And we got to be honest. We got to be fair. Don't forget to smash that like button, folks. But if you're talking about overall, career-wise, we're going to have to wait for his whole entire career to pan out. But the thing about it is a caveat to this. See, both Guillermo Rigondeaux and Vasily Lomachenko had extensive amateur careers. As a result of that, these guys could be put in tough and matched tough. Remember, Oscar De La Hoya and Pernell Whitaker were matched tough because Pernell Whitaker was a gold medalist at the Olympics and Oscar De La Hoya was a gold medalist at the Olympics. So they were matched tough from the get-go. Consider Guillermo Rigondeaux and also Vasily Lomachenko. These guys were one-time or two-time or even three-time gold medalists, or sometimes five-time gold medalists, both in the Olympics and in the World Championships. So when these guys had so much top-tier amateur experience, obviously they were ready for anything. And yes, they'll have to adapt to the pro style of boxing because they mostly have an amateur style. But they can just get going one time. And Lomachenko told Bob Arum, he said, look, man, just put me in right now. I'm ready to go. Okay? And so it's that vast amount of top-tier experience these guys have that gives them the confidence to go into the pros and approach the pros the way they have. All right? And in that respect, Vasily Lomachenko has faced much tougher competition than Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao early in his career. And if he could keep that up and get 30 fights under his belt, oh, he surpassed them. I don't think he will because he's getting up in age and also he has limits as to who he can face and who he can fight at the top tier. So those things kind of limit him. As well as, unfortunately for him, his style is being figured out. People are solving his style because his style is limited by range. Wonderful fighter, but he's limited by range. And I think that, in and of itself, is what leads Lomachenko to be a vulnerable fighter at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And that vulnerability is why I think he's vulnerable, at least. And I think a lot of boxers are getting confidence in beating him because they're beginning to realize, oh, I need to do this. I need to do this to handle him. The problem with some of the boxers is they execute it sometimes, but not consistently. They're not as well conditioned as he is. He is really well conditioned. And the other thing is the boxers who really are starting to implement this stuff, they don't necessarily have that kind of skill necessary to pull it off. I think Jose Pedraza did a lot of good stuff against Vasily Lomachenko. But again, he kind of is one note in that he doesn't necessarily adapt to everything as he should. And so Lomachenko at least figured him out in the 11th round. And he did make a couple of mistakes. And then in 12th, he kind of got back his composure. But Lomachenko was trying to take him out in 12th as well. So I would say I think there are a number of boxers that could beat Lomachenko at this point in time. And I still maintain it. I don't disagree. I think that a lot of people are saying Gervonta Davis needs more fights. I don't think so. I think he can. I think he can beat Lomachenko as it is. I think Devin Haney can beat Lomachenko as it is, and they're in position to face Lomachenko, both of them being mandatories. The fighter that Lomachenko will be going after is the winner of Richard Comey and Teofimo Lopez. A lot of people are talking about Richard Comey being able to beat Lomachenko. I don't think he has the footwork. The problem with it is the footwork. He doesn't have the footwork to deal with a Lomachenko. You got to have that footwork. And he may have power and all of that, but I think his footwork is what's going to fail him. You got to have footwork. You got to have good footwork to deal with a Lomachenko. And once you got the footwork, you're okay. And I think that Devin Haney's got it. I think Gervonta Davis has got it. They just need the opportunity to show it. Gervonta Davis showed it against Jose Pedraza, but I don't know if it's Gervonta Davis talking to Floyd and he wants a soft touch or something. I don't know what's going on, but he hasn't since Jose Pedraza had any other tough competition. All right? Consistently, Lomachenko's been put in front of people that are top-tier tough guys, okay? So it is what it is, but that's how I feel about it, Lomachenko. But to be honest with you, in this respect, I'm just talking about the last 15 fights, he supersedes Pacquiao, he supersedes Mayweather, hands down. If he could keep that momentum going forward, he will supersede them, period. All right? But as to intangible boxing, you a clown, man. Why you putting my name out there? Don't worry about it. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, so that's what I personally think about that. Do I think that Vasily Lomachenko is greater than Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather? He ain't greater than Manny Pacquiao. He's not greater than Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is the greatest of the era that Floyd was in, because Floyd's not in our era anymore. This era is a different era. Floyd Mayweather era is gone. He's done, right? We're in a new era. And Pacquiao's name is still relevant in this new era. And so, do I think Lomachenko's greater than Pacquiao? Fuck no. You say Manny Pacquiao, everybody knows who that is. You say Lomachenko, nobody knows. And some people do. In boxing, some people do. You say Manny Pacquiao anywhere, people say, oh, I think I know that name. Yeah, it had nothing to do with boxing even. Right? He's that great. Floyd Mayweather still, to this day, if you say Floyd Mayweather, oh, that's the short little black guy, right? You know what I mean? So, no, he'll never be greater than these guys. Or he may be. Who knows? If he could get a breakout somehow. But when it comes to better, I can make an argument for that. because you're looking at, you're compressing all these high quality fights into such a few amounts of fights. That's why I said Floyd Mayweather is better than Sugar Ray Robinson. He's better than Julio Cesar Chavez, and so on and so on. I said it because you got that high quality in these few fights. So obviously, I'm going to be consistent. Am I not? I'm going to be consistent, right? He a little guy in a little. If he fights all the little guys that he's supposed to fight, how can I not say that his resume is not there with a Floyd Mayweather or not there with a Manny Pacquiao? He's a little guy, right? And if you fight everybody that the little guy's supposed to fight, then how can I say no? You know what I'm saying? So you have to look at it objectively, people. And I've always been consistent in my argument that boxing as a sport has evolved. And there's always going to be guys who, it doesn't matter if they limited fighters. Maybe he's not a greater all-around fighter than Floyd Mayweather. Maybe he's not a greater in-fighter as Manny Pacquiao, or better in-fighter as Manny Pacquiao. But we can only know that if Manny Pacquiao faces him, right? At lightweight, right? So, I mean, at the end of the day, people are not really thinking about Manny Pacquiao versus Lomachenko. You know, nobody really wants to talk about that, and it's cool. I mean, it's what it is. But I already knew, I believe that Manny Pacquiao would beat Lomachenko. I've said it. I've said the list of names, I think, and I gave my reasons, right? I gave my reasons why, right? And like I said, I believe, you don't have to believe me. See, I can be humble about it. I believe I've solved this dude. I think I figured him out. All right? But I can't prove it to you guys until you see somebody fight him and you see. I told you, his bread and butter, because he's got the amateur style of boxing. Amir Khan has an amateur style of boxing. They accuse Floyd Mayweather of having an amateur style of boxing, that he's just a points generator, right? But yet, Lomachenko uses the same approach. Andre Ward used the same approach. You know, Manny Pacquiao kind of does. He's not exactly the style like Lomachenko. He got his own style going on. He got his own thing going on, right? So you can't really say that about Manny Pacquiao. But when it comes to like Lomachenko, you know, Guillermo Rigondeaux, it's an amateur style that they use. It's an amateur style that they use, right? So what? So what? I mean, Usyk does it too. You know, Gavordik does it. I mean, Bivol, don't you like it, man? If it ain't good, what, don't you like it? I mean, come on, man. I mean, they're getting people out of there. Lomachenko be getting people out of there. You know what I'm saying? They're saying he's not a knockout artist, but his knockout ratio ain't that bad. You know, you look at his knockout ratio. His knockout ratio is 66.67%. That's damn good, if you ask me. He got some pop. So I'm just saying that Lomachenko's showing us something new and different and challenging us. And as much as I might say that there are guys that can beat him, don't get it twisted. He is a very, 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 very excellent fighter. He's a great fighter. He's a great fighter. And so just, you know, I always try to put things in perspective so people will understand that I'm not coming from a perspective of I hate a fighter or anything like that. I try to keep it sensible, right? Is he a better fighter than Floyd Mayweather? Is he a better fighter than Manny Pacquiao over the course of their entire careers? I can't say that. I can't say that, but I'm giving the benefit of the doubt and let his career play out. You know? I'll let his career play out and then we'll see. I wouldn't just make a definitive statement on that because his career's not over, right? Manny Pacquiao, we say could he be greater than Muhammad Ali? We don't know. We have to let his entire career play out before I can make judgment on him like that. But he's moving in that direction. You know what I'm saying? It depends on what he does next. Is he going to take the Errol Spence, Sean Porter winner? Is he, you know, I just saw that he may not show up for that fight. Right? Let me see what you guys are saying here. Shakur Stevens is another guy that can probably take Lomachenko. He's sparred him and all that shit. But then again, Lomachenko will have a good chance against him as well because he knows his style. Anderson Phillip versus Vasily Lomachenko. Fuck no. Are you kidding me, man? That's not fair. I can't box like that. Y'all would just... I have no amateur background. You gonna just throw me in there to the wolves? Let this motherfucker knock me out? Come on, man. Oh, so funny. See what you guys are saying here. Lomachenko. Okay. Fernando Montero says, "What's cracking, bro? I'm cool, man. Just working. Lomachenko won't go to 140 because Michael. Okay. Loma hasn't done enough to be mentioned with Pat Gomez. Why not? They are mentioning him. It don't matter no more. It's like he's part of the conversation now. Whether we like it or not, they already mentioned him. I think it was Max Kellerman that started mentioning him. So it doesn't really matter what we think. You know, he's already up there being mentioned. He's a 3-divisional world champion already. All right. That's probably why he's going to max out at that. And it is what it is. You know, I'm not trying to kiss his ass or anything. I'm just acknowledging though that in his 15 fights he's done a lot. You know, you could look at his fights at lightweight. You could look at his fights at super featherweight for Floyd. You could look at his featherweight, super featherweight, and lightweight fights for Pacquiao, right? And see how they measure up as well. There's different ways of looking at it. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to ask, what context are you measuring this by? Your barometers. If you're looking at the entire career, you can't say nothing. I wouldn't compare him to Mayweather or Pacquiao's careers. They fought, you know, multiple weight classes. They fought the very best continuously. They won. Okay, so you can't. And there are many different styles, right? So you can't pit him against that because he doesn't have that kind of fights and he doesn't have that much. He doesn't have that kind of variety. He doesn't have that kind of continuity. He doesn't have that kind of longevity. So we can't compare it like that. What we can do though, to show that he has a much tougher roster under his belt than Mayweather and Pacquiao, and in that respect you can talk about is his first 15 fights, where Mayweather and Pacquiao was nowhere on the level of the competition he was facing. But we understand why, because he had an extensive amateur career. He was coming into boxing very late. Okay, he's like coming in. He came into boxing when he was. How many years he's been in boxing now? 5 years. So he was in his late 20s, you know, or early 30s, whatever. He came into boxing very, very late. Guillermo Rigondeaux, the same thing. So they fast-tracked him one time because their pro career wasn't going to be long, right? So you have to understand the context in which this is happening. But nonetheless, okay, Pacquiao Mayweather was much younger, right? Nonetheless, you still have to give credit to it because it's just so matched, so incredibly tough. So incredibly tough. And so, you know, if Lomachenko makes another 15 fights, that would be great. I don't think he has so many fights under his belt, but maybe he will. Maybe he'll make it to 30 fights. But what we do know is they're fast-tracking him because he don't have much time in the pros. So he's doing as much as he can. Obviously, he also has weight limitations. He's not going to go past 135, apparently. So they locked it down. They said, oh, okay, 135 is the limit. So that's what that is. And that's okay. That's okay. That's fair, too. All right. He's going to be probably somewhere around super featherweight, finish off his career, whatever. But at the end of the day, whatever he does, however his career goes, this is the one thing we can say. He's going to be mentioned as one of the great fighters of this era, which is a separate era to the Mayweather era, even though Pacquiao's in this era, which is just fucking crazy just to think about. Pacquiao has been in the Mayweather era, all right, which spanned many, many years, okay? He's into his, what is it, 4th generation of fighters? Because he was with the Eric Morales and Marco Antonio Barrera era. He also faced Oscar De La Hoya, and then he crossed over, you know, Oscar De La Hoya and Shane Mosley. They were the era before them. He actually touched them. And then he went into the Miguel Cotto era. They did a little bit after. Then he got to see Miguel Cotto, you know, that kind of era. And now he's in this whole new era with Keith Thurman and these guys. It's fucking 4 eras or 3 eras, something like that. It's crazy. All right? I think Mayweather was in 2 eras or something like that. So it's just ridiculous what this guy has been doing. Which is why Pacquiao, you know, you can't compare Loma to Pacquiao and Mayweather right now, right? They're in their own space, right? But what you can do is you can look at how the kind of compressed, tough competition that man has faced in 3 divisions. And if you think about Terrence Crawford's been through 3 divisions as well. If Loma can unify the lightweight division, if he can get all 3 titles and then defend it, something Terrence Crawford didn't do. If he can defend it, and then if he wants to move down, he can move down. Remember, this is his peak weight. Basically, Lomachenko's at his peak weight. He can't, according to him, he can't go any further. So, you know, that's about it for him. And if at his peak weight he can do this shit, that's great. And then he goes down to super feather, do what he want to do at super feather. All that's good. You know what I'm saying? And whether they win or lose or draw, this man been matched tough. And that's what I like about it. He's been matched tough, win, lose, or draw. And that's very important. You know, a lot of people come down on Eddie Hearn for matching fighters tough and letting the fighters do whatever they want. You know, Devin Haney likes Eddie Hearn because he knows Eddie Hearn will give him the tough fights, right? Eddie Hearn's the dude, he's not going to turn down a fighter. If a fighter says, I want a tough fight, give him the tough fight, right? I like what EJ Boxing Live and I forgot what the other brother is on there. The other UK boxing fan was saying, which is that Eddie Hearn's not necessarily a guy, at least with the zone now. Before that, he was giving people simple fights. You know, Kell Brook was getting feed fodder and that kind of shit. But when it comes to like now, Eddie Hearn with the zone is just matching everybody tough. He don't give a fuck. He's like, if you looking to try and culture your fighter, you're not gonna go under Eddie Hearn's banner. But if you want the fighter to have their dream, that is to face the fights they want, now Eddie Hearn will give you that. All right, that's what Eddie Hearn do. All right, and people say he don't give a fuck about his fighters. Not that. He's matching them tough. He's matching them tough. He's giving them. Maurice Hooker wanted that unification with Jose Ramirez. Eddie Hearn gave him it. You know what I'm saying? He gives you, he delivers to you them tough fights that you want to get, right? And if you top tier, you will handle it. You gotta sink or swim, but Eddie Hearn will give you the fight, right? That's what he do. And there's just a few fighters that didn't get it, like, and even no, actually, I'm being wrong. James DeGale got all the tough fights he wanted to get. Eddie Hearn let James DeGale go up in PBC and face Anthony Durrell, and he beat him. Then he faced Battle Jack, and he by the snick of his teeth, he got a draw. He should have really lost that fight. Then he went across and faced Lucian Butte, and I think he got a draw when he should have won it, right? So Eddie Hearn kept on matching this guy tough, making this guy cross the seas, giving this guy the tough fights he wanted to get the respect. And I don't care what nobody say. James DeGale, not Anthony Durrell. Did I say Anthony Durrell? James DeGale, he was a bad motherfucker. I don't care what nobody say. He did lose to Chris Eubank Jr. eventually, you know, after he damaged rotator cuff and shit like that. But at the end of the day, that motherfucker gets my respect. Because he crossed the seas multiple times, you know. And yeah, okay, Eddie Hearn was really looking at Anthony Joshua, but he still gave him the tough fights he wanted. You know what I'm saying? This dude got mad. You look at that man's resume, he's mad crazy, okay? And that's what you want. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So, yeah, Lomachenko has been matched tough. Bob Arum generally doesn't do that. He's still, you can see Bob Arum now bucking and trying to protect Lomachenko because he loves his Lomachenko. He don't love Terrence Crawford as much as he loves Lomachenko. You can tell that. You can tell he don't love Terrence Crawford as much as he loves Tyson Fury. It's his thing. I mean, I get it. I get it. Bob Arum likes people that look like him and shit like that, and he like to see them cultivate their talent and shit. I mean, he like Muhammad Ali. He like them all. You know what I'm saying? For some reason, he thinks he can't get Terrence Crawford the fights he really want to get, and so he's feeding him his top ranked stable. Gavaliauskas is a top ranked fighter. For those who don't know, it is what it is. It is what it is. But don't, Bob Arum, don't be turning around saying, oh, the PBC fighters only fighting PBC fighters. All right, they don't want to face Terrence. But then you're going to feed Terrence a top-ranked fighter. I mean, come on now. You get what I'm saying? All right, you know, I mean, come on, Bob Arum. Come on, Bob Arum. I'm just saying. You know I don't like Bob Arum like that. Y'all know that. But, you know, I give him his credit where his credit is due. I give him his credit where his credit is due. You know. And y'all could talk about how much Bob Arum did in the sport of boxing. Fuck that. You know me. You know what I think about that. Anyways, I don't want to disrespect nobody no more right now. I just want to talk boxing. So let's just get into it. But I don't like Bob Arum. I don't like Bob Arum. I think y'all know that by now. And Bob, is nothing personal. I like you as a person. I just don't like how you approach boxing. You just have such a like a nasty way of doing boxing, man. I just don't like it. Fernando Montero says Loma hasn't done enough to be mentioned with PACQUIAO May. Like I said, you can look at it in a certain kind of way. That's what I'm saying. You know, you have to respect the fact that this man only has 15 fights. And in 15 fights, think about what I'm saying. This is mind-boggling. You see, it's so crazy. And the thing about it is, we are so fortunate in this fucking era and in the past eras to have seen these exceptional fighters. Exceptional fighters. Okay, the weight class is a little bit shorter, so the distance between one weight class and another is now shorter. But having said that, what Lomachenko's doing is pretty nuts, man. In 15 fights, this man's gone through 3 divisions. He's not only won a WBO title in each division, he's defended that title in each division. Now he's unifying at his peak weight. Come on now, people. Come on. Give him credit. Give him credit where it's due. I know the media outblow. The problem with certain media and the problem with certain fans is they blow the shit out of proportion. All right, they blow the shit out of proportion. But come on, people. Let's think about it now. Let's just think about it. When have you ever seen that happen in your lifetime? It's never happened in your lifetime. It's special. It's special. And the boxers know that. Every single boxer out there knows that. So that if that boxer could become a part of that history, and even, God forbid, beat Lomachenko, it's going to be something exceptional. But even after you beat Lomachenko, now you got to do something as on par with Lomachenko. Because guess what? His legacy is cemented. Even if you beat him or not, his legacy going to be cemented. Because he already done something that nobody else has done, as far as I know, in boxing. Right? I ain't know nobody come into the sport of boxing and win a title in their 3rd fight. Then defended a number of times, and by the 11th fight, by their 8th fight, they in another division winning another title and so on. I mean, the guys in lower weight classes have done something like that, right? Flyweight and whatever. But not in those few fights, man. Lomachenko just done some crazy ass shit right there. And you guys just have to recognize that. That ain't happening every day. That's not going to happen every day of the week. That's not a common thing. That's what I'm saying. All right, let me look at you guys' comments. You guys are saying a whole bunch of stuff. I'm gonna try and catch all of you guys. Ooh, you guys clowning me on all kinds of shit. Is there any way I can call Lomachenko out for a fight? That's a dumb idea. He wants top tier people. He don't fight you. You go be a debutante. Why would he fight you? He don't do that. You know Lomachenko don't do that. Look at his resume, man. That man ain't got an easy fight. He ain't got a stay busy fight yet. How many amateur fights we have, though? Why don't you like Willie Pep? Who said I don't like Willie Pep? I like Willie Pep? What the hell? Who said I didn't like Willie Pep? What? I don't even know where people come up with this stuff. I never said I didn't like Willie Pep. Wow. Where did that come from? The little magician, Willie Pep? I think you guys think I don't appreciate former fighters and stuff. Just because I be talking about some flaws in their game, comparing them to current fighters today. I appreciate all fighters. Lomachenko needs Toledo and Russell rematch. Then Mikey Garcia and Santa Cruz and Mars to be considered great. What? The man's great already, man. He's great already. He's great already. He's just trying to build on his legacy. Loma needs to fight a fighter from Trinidad or Tobago. Oh, please. Come on, man. Stop calling me. Toledo is retired. Anson Phillip versus Vasily Lomachenko. You guys talking a lot of shit now. Loma has not been the same since 130. What? Loma doesn't have the skills to translate up. What? Who is Ansel Phillips? He's an up and comer. Y'all talking straight shit right now. At Roller Polar Bear, he is the man streaming this video. In boxing, you need to make waves by age 24, otherwise superstardom is not possible. What? Where you guys coming up with this stuff? So what happened to Byron Hopkins? How he became? Well, did he become a superstar? Not really. I guess you may have a point. I don't know how you got that age though. Is that just an arbitrary age or something? Intangible Boxing says, not a ducks. He has stated it before. Lomachenko has a decent resume. Decent? Decent? Dude, 15 fights, dude. Oh, man. Shakur Stevenson versus Lomachenko. At what? Super featherweight? Shakur's about to try to get the featherweight title against I forgot who he's fighting against. Virgil Ortiz, not Virgil Ortiz. I forgot the kid's name. The Mexican kid, Oscar Valdez. He vacated. I roll a polar bear. In boxing, compared to other sports, for example, basketball, there can only be a few superstars at the time. In the U.S., at least, it's covered like a fringe sport. Mm-hmm. Pac-Man achieved much more because he skipped amateurs and jumped to the pros at a 15-year-old. Yeah, I mean, Pacquiao's crazy, man. Pacquiao is crazy. Shit, he got a crazy career. Period. Canelo also skipped the amateurs. He had some amateur experience in Mexico, but he went mostly to the pros, yeah. Loma and Rigondeaux spent too much time concentrating on Olympic medals. But what could they do? I mean, they were in Cuba and they were in wherever they were. Europe, Ukraine. They couldn't come to the United States like that, you know what I mean? It's what it is. Same with GGG. Well, hopefully GGG with his promotional company, DAZN's going to be helping him feature his promotional company. Hopefully GGG will be able to feature some of his fighters so that the younger guys can come up. Freddie Roach said fighters of old were better than today. Eddie Fush never did mitts because it was a new invention, and boxers used it to show it off and it is not that effective. I'll say this, Roller Polar Bear. A lot of people think still in that very old, outdated way. Like, for instance, I was listening to Jonathan Banks talk about how people think that boxers today, they fade in their 30s and shit. And he said that's an old school way of thinking, that a boxer's past his prime and he's fading and shit. What people need to understand is, yeah, boxers, they do start to cup, they plateau off and they start falling down. But he said the kind of medical science we got today, boxers can go well into their 40s and do very well. And Jonathan Banks says that kind of thought process that people had back in the 80s and 70s and 60s is outdated. Boxers today are doing a lot more phenomenal things. And so he said, Triple G, you can get older, but you can get better. And Triple G is getting better, he's saying. And he's very right. I mean, the thing about it is, you don't have to be at your physical prime or physical peak. Once mentally, you're smarter. And the thing about boxers who can still use most of their movement, they still got a certain level of agility, with the injuries and stuff, they still are able to carry that and still do things. They box a lot smarter, a lot better, a lot more craftier, a lot more skillful. And so that actually makes them better, like fine wine. They become better boxers. And that's what you're seeing with Pacquiao. And even how he trains is a smart way. He don't train by going all out all the time. No, he gets the body recuperate, let the body rest. So what you find is guys used to be back in the day when you reach about 35 years of age, that was it for you. But you see a lot of boxers now fighting well into their late 30s, 37, 38, 39, and they still doing well and they're still performing. And the reason that's happening is because of the sports science, guys taking better care of their bodies, and also they're fighting smarter. Smarter is the key. They're fighting smarter because they've taken all that experience they have in boxing now, and they got a lot more experience than the younger guys coming up who are hungry and stuff, but they got more experience than them, and so they're able to outmaneuver them in certain places, outdo certain things, outthink them in certain areas and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's not necessary. Once you got that, still that level of agility, you just need to have a decent level of agility, a decent level of health. You can't be, badly injured or coming in with bad knees and that kind of shit. But if you still got that general overall fitness, that general overall conditioning, right? And on top of that, you got, you box smart, you box to win. You can take them younger cats. You hear the older guys all the time saying, I can take the kid. But it's just the body don't cooperate because they broke their body down. But for the older vets who still got that athleticism and that movement that is necessary, they can still tell their body what to do and their body will respond. Maybe not the same way as when they're younger, but it can respond. Oh, them younger cats can't. They can't fuck with them. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you guys kind of miss. That's why I said when people talking about Pacquiao and Mayweather be too late, I was like, what are you talking about? Pacquiao at the top of his game. Can you see? He's at the top of his game. What are you talking about? Mayweather's at the top of his game. Both of them got injuries. They got all kinds of shit going on, but they're at the top of their game. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? So we saw Pacquiao beat Keith Thurman. Ain't nobody thought that was possible. Now Pacquiao showing us, just like Bernard Hopkins showed us, oh, it's up here. You got to be smart up here, right? You got to be smart up here. You got to fight within your means. But at the same time, you could be explosive. You could be quick. You could be athletic. You can still be those things. Now, the only problem is it could come at a price later on in your life if you take too much punishment. You're not a young chicken. You know what I'm saying? Your body needs, the wear and tear could be very detrimental to you, right? You can't just proceed. And you may not feel that until maybe 5, 10 years down the road. So that's why Pacquiao has to be smart now, how he maneuvers around these opponents. It's not just about beating them, getting the W, but also making sure that he doesn't take unnecessary punishment, which means whoever he has to face next, he should pick wisely. You see what I'm saying? And that's all to it. He's a gladiator, so he don't have a problem facing nobody, but you got to be smart with it. And he has a smart team. Okay. Roller Pair says it's actually pronounced Dazin. Dazin? What's that? DAZN? What's that? Dazin? What's that? I missed that. Roller Pair says that Jessica Gemino. Why are most girls depressed? What? Does this have to do with anything? Roller Polar Bear. Frutch versus Kalzaki. What about it? Jessica Gemino says, yeah, Aram thinks we're stupid. Aram shit on Pac-Man at the end. Roller Polar Bear says Terrence needs to make big moves. Call out Canelo. That's funny, man. If Bob Arum weren't white, he'd be done king. Oh my God. You actually, they are birds of the same feather. Hybrid 95 says Loma is a once-in-a-lifetime fighter for sure, but people rarely think that he could defeat a prime Pacquiao and Floyd. In my opinion, a prime Pacquiao Floyd would have made Luke Campbell look average. Look average, they'd have wiped him out. But what I'm saying is no, but you gotta see, okay, there are a couple of things. One, okay, Pacquiao started off smaller than Lomachenko, so we can't talk about Pacquiao. But Mayweather, he started at super feather, which is just one weight class above what Loma started as, but nonetheless. I would say this. I think Pacquiao's a little bit bigger than Loma. I think Floyd's a little bit bigger than Loma. I think Pacquiao began his pro career much younger than Lomachenko did, which is why Pacquiao was able to go through all those weight classes. But still, I think Pacquiao is a little bit bigger than Loma. Not by much. Not by much. Lomachenko probably walks around 148 pounds. I think Pacquiao walks around 150, maybe 151, 152. I think Floyd walked around at about the same weight. I think Marquez walked around a little bit smaller. So I think Marquez and Lomachenko probably about the same size. So what I'm saying is, what am I really saying? I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm saying Lomachenko, Floyd, and Pacquiao, all three of them is around about the same size. But I think Pacquiao and Floyd are a little bit bigger than them. Just a little bit bigger than them. I think Floyd's taller than them. I think Pacquiao's shorter than them. Yeah. So when you're talking about like Loma facing Pacquiao, 135? Yeah, 135. They say Pacquiao can still make 135. Yeah, make him get down there. No catch weight. Yeah, and see Pacquiao face Loma and see what could happen. That's what I'd have done. But if I was Lomachenko, I'd let him say, okay, come meet me at lightweight. You know, if Pacquiao can make the weight, fine. You know, Pacquiao eat plenty to be at welterweight, so yeah, make Pacquiao meet Lomachenko, man. It was almost 9 o'clock. But I think a prime Pacquiao, prime Floyd. It doesn't even matter if it's a prime Pacquiao or prime Floyd. Any Pacquiao, any kind of Floyd beats Loma. Even now, I think Pacquiao, old ass Pacquiao, going down to 135, facing Lomachenko, weight drain Pacquiao, would beat him. Yeah, because it's just what Pacquiao does. It's just what Pacquiao does that makes Pacquiao dangerous. You know, Pacquiao's style would beat Lomachenko. Even though Lomachenko's very good, I know what he does. See, I know the little tricks he uses. You know, so I could actually call it if you want me to. I could actually break down what Lomachenko does. But Pacquiao does more of the same things, but his foot speed's a lot faster. He's a lot more explosive. Lomachenko would have to be a lot faster to deal with a Manny Pacquiao. A lot quicker. You know, you can't just be busy. You got to be fast, explosive, quick. You got to work on those things. So. Yeah, so a prime Pacquiao Floyd would have just destroyed Luke Campbell. Because you think about it, Pacquiao faced guys like Marco Antonio Barrera, the very best featherweight in the division. At lightweight, he faced David Diaz and just destroyed him. He destroyed David Diaz. So you know he would destroy Luke Campbell. You know, he would destroy him, right? Floyd, on the other hand, would pick him apart like he did Diego Corrales. He'd beat the shit out of him. He'd beat the snot out of him. Because Luke Campbell's not really fast or anything. He's good, but Floyd would counterpunch his ass to death. He'd probably stop him. Both of them would have stopped him. Because Pretty Boy Floyd was vicious at lightweight and at super featherweight. And they were vicious guys, right? Pacquiao was devastatingly vicious, right? So, yeah, you can't compare them, because I wouldn't do that, because Lomachenko's, you see, because Lomachenko got so many few fights, man. He can't, that's the problem. The problem with it is Lomachenko's now really getting used to the pro style. You know? So it's like, and then what they do to Luke Campbell is not necessarily what they would do to Lomachenko. You see what I'm saying? Because Lomachenko got a little bit of movement and shit that he do. They would tag him up eventually, but it wouldn't be as easy as a Luke Campbell fight, right? Luke Campbell would be fodder for those guys. And no disrespect to Luke Campbell, tough guy and everything, but they would beat the shit out of him. They'd be beating him. I think they would be beating him all around the ring. The reason being, Luke Campbell makes mistakes, right? He was pivoted into Lomachenko's weak side, which was very good. Very good. Take away the weak side from him. But he wouldn't distance control properly. And he let Lomachenko circle out. You can't be doing that shit with Pacquiao. You know what I mean? You can't be doing that shit with Pacquiao. Pacquiao's very fast. You know, he could get two-pieced. He could get dropped. Then he'd be stopped. You know, I mean, you just can't do that kind of shit. And with Floyd, Floyd has shown you he could deal with taller, longer guys, much taller, much longer. And he would just look like he's in slow motion against Floyd, because Floyd would stay right on the outside. He would lean back like his father, like his uncle Jeff Mayweather. He'd be just kind of leaning back, just right on the outside there, periphery, waiting to counter. Call like a fucking rattlesnake, inching in and just kind of leaning back, but inching in on him, inching in on him, inching in on him, and just leaning back like a rattlesnake. And then boom, you know how it was. It was just very quick. These guys are just quick, you know. So, and I could just see him. I could just see him circling. And the thing about it is, they don't have to go weak side. Like Mayweather doesn't have to go weak side. You know, when you're southpaw here, right? Going weak side would be to go to around my arm here, right? But Floyd wouldn't circle weak side. He'd circle to the strong side so he could catch him with a lead right. On telegraph, lead right. Boom. And circle away. Roll under, circle over. You saw what he did with Victor Ortiz. You saw what he did with Sean Bay Mitchell. You saw what he did with, what's his kid name? Zab Judah. You saw what he did with Victor Ortiz. Did I say him? Robert Guerrero. Yeah. All these southpaws. Even Conor McGregor. He kind of did it with Conor McGregor too. You know, much slower. But he shooting that lead right like a motherfucker. Catching Luke Campbell to the body and to the head. He might stop him with a body shot like he did Sean Bay Mitchell. Just shoot that lead right on telegraph. Boom. Take him out to the body. But Luke Campbell kind of soft to the body. At least over a certain period of time. Hybrid 95 says, I don't even think he beats Floyd or Pacquiao now. He's more willing to go back down to 130 than to move up to 140. There's a reason him and Bob don't want the Pacquiao match. Of course. Pacquiao destroyed him, like I said before. It's way too quick. Sugar Ray Leonard said that today's athletes are better conditioned into middle age. Yeah, for sure. The medicine, just the way how they take care of their bodies, the commitment. Yeah, it's a whole different ballgame. Pacquiao versus Tank at 135. That's a good fight. That's a good fucking fight. Love to see that. Pac-Man is a freak. This shit. Pacquiao crazy. He's really, really good, folks. He's really, really good. When you think about Pacquiao, Intangible Boxing says, you know who Sean Porter reminds me of? Jesus Chavez. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Jesus Chavez. Buddy McGirt stopped that fight. Should have let Jesus go though. After that 9-round, Jesus was selling out like a motherfucker. He got Floyd on the ropes and shit. I would have loved to see at least a round 10 of that fight, to be honest with you. I wish I had seen round 10. He was giving Floyd everything. He was getting tagged up like a motherfucker, but I mean, he was giving Floyd everything he had, man. He was giving Floyd everything he had. You know, and Floyd was fighting back. And I would really wanted to see what would have happened with one more round. But they stopped it at the 9th. But I really wanted to see that. He's a hell of a fighter, by the way. For people who don't know. Mango Juice. Shout out to you. I've never seen you before. Loma can't. What's that? Loma can't match Pac and Floyd's speed and has shorter reach than Pacquiao. He does? I thought Pacquiao has a shorter reach. I think Pacquiao has a shorter reach. Pacquiao has a shorter reach. Pacquiao's shorter than him, and he has a shorter reach. And Lomachenko's 5'7". Let me see. Hold on a second. I'll tell you. Shit. Damn it. I gotta charge up my battery. Hold on a second. I got the stats right in front of me. Lomachenko, Mr. High Tech. He's a bad motherfucker. I love it, dude. He good. He good. He good. Don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of Lomachenko. Don't get me wrong. He has a reach of 65.5-inch reach. 65.5-inch reach. He's 5'7". He's 5'7". me see. Hold on. Pacquiao. Oh yeah, Pacquiao has a 67-inch reach. Wow. He's 5'5" 5.5 inches tall. Short little guy. Interesting. He's also southpaw, so it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see that fight though. Because both of them are mid-range fighters, so it'll be good. Good ass fight. Hey man, I've been talking boxing all day. I've been listening to guys talk boxing all day. It's been good talking with you guys another hour. I don't even know how many hours we put in boxing, but I want to say this one thing though, guys. Don't forget you can donate to my channel. Donate via Western Union MoneyGram. Also, I engaged in a bet with H Money. I told H Money I don't think that Sean Porter is going to get knocked out by Errol Spence. So what's going to happen is I'm going to have to shave all my hair on my face if I lose that bet. But I probably won't lose it. H Money might. In which case, he got to shave his face. So if that's the case, what we're going to do is every piece of hair that's shaved off, we want to donate it to some, we want to raise some funds or money towards a charity of some kind. So we're going to have to think that out. So I'm just letting you guys know so we can do it for a good cause. Yeah. Yeah, man. So that's all I got to say for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget that you can also share these videos, share the videos with different people. I'm not trying to be somebody who is trying to hate on people and shit like that. Hybrid 95, what's up, dude? It's good to see you, man. Jessica Geminis, thank you for another great video, informative. Thank you. You most welcome. You most welcome. The thing about me is I don't want to take away from a real boxer's contribution to boxing, and this guy has contributed to boxing, Lomachenko. He's changed the game forever because he's actually done things in the sport of boxing I haven't seen anybody ever do. Right? In so many few fights, this guy has fought, some really good names. First of all, he's been consistent and high quality. He's had no fucking stay busy fights. You notice that? No stay busy fights at all. This guy's gone straight through. He's been match tough. I like it, and I hope that he can stay the course, because if he can somehow stay that course and just keep on being match tough, whether he win, lose, or draw, this guy fights the best of his different divisions, whether it's just 3 divisions. It's just 135, 130, 126. If it's just that, no problem. But just fight the best. Try and get the best out of there. Hopefully you make some money. By the end of the day, you make a good little penny for yourself, and build your legacy. You know what I'm saying? He's coming there, and he wants to build his legacy, and that's all I gotta say. I really try to give respect to fighters. Yeah, I try to give respect to fighters, man. Try to give respect to them because I've never seen this before. I don't know about you guys, but I've never seen this before. And we kind of talk down these fighters a lot. And I'm not saying we should overpraise them either. Like I was saying, Canelo's resume, I thought that Johnny Boy actually made some valid points, because some people, again, they worship fighters and it's really ridiculous. And I'm not really one of those people. But when you see me tell you facts about a fighter, just think about what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to agree with me, but just think about what I'm saying about the facts about the fighter. Because usually, we look to past fighters. I hate when they do that. Like, you see, Floyd's retired, now everybody looking at Floyd. Oh, Floyd this, Floyd that. I hate that. When the man was actually active, y'all was, cussing out his ass, and he was no good, and he was cherry picking all that shit. Now all of a sudden no, don't do that. That's what I tell fans. Appreciate the fighters while they're active. Appreciate them while they're active. You know what I'm saying? And you got a handful of really good fighters out there. Y'all just be going in on Johnny Boy. Johnny Boy, we know that he does not like certain fighters. Okay, it is what it is, right? But he did make a point that, like I said before, about the holistic resume of Canelo. I know he's a big Golovkin fan. He's a big Pacquiao fan. We know this, right? But he still made some valid points concerning the whole resume of Canelo. All right, when you look at his entire resume, it ain't that, it ain't all that, and it's true. But the problem with that is when you look at, when you look at the marquee fights that he had, ain't nobody have them kind of fights. Not even Lomachenko. And Lomachenko is a hell of a fighter. He ain't got no stay busy fights at all. But just looking at the marquee names, you gotta acknowledge Canelo been doing some shit. That's all I'm saying. So that's where I'm coming from. And they even say his resume is overrated, and a lot of people do overrate his resume, especially presently. They do overrate his resume. Is what it is. I ain't trying to. I'm a Canelo fan, and again, the Kovalev fight. Let's be real. Even though I say it's a gimme fight, which is true, it is a gimme fight. It's going to go down in history as Kovalev, this guy who was the #1 super light heavyweight in the world, who beat, Bernard Hopkins and destroyed John Pascal twice and, beat Elita Alvarez, the guy that beat him the first time, came and get back and he outboxed him. And that's what's going on. I had a life and death against a very skilled fighter in Anthony Yarde, who became world champion after this, and blah, 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 blah. Because Anthony Yarde is going to become a world champion. I'll guarantee you that. So they're gonna build on, and it's just what it's gonna be. History gonna show that Canelo beat this dude, and they're gonna be like, from 154 to 175, Canelo was like dominant, and he was like all kinds of bullshit. That's how history goes. That's just the way how it is, right? And the one good thing I know is, if I know Canelo, he's still gonna face Demetrius Andrade at some point, and he's still gonna face Jamal Charlo. And he's still going to face Billy Joe Saunders at some point. And he's going to still face whoever else is out there at 168 that he needs to face. Right? But you can't really knock him, because he did face Gennady Golovkin, Miga Cotto, and Danny Jacobs. And them three right there were the top guys. So what can you say? You can't really say too much. I really like to go in on his ass. If Kovalev beats him, though, I'm going to go in on his ass hard. I'll be like, that's what it takes. See, you motherfucker, you should have gone and faced Demetrius Andrade, you motherfucker. Man, I will go in on him so hard. But that's, again, I don't think it's likely that will happen. Which I hate to say, because it's like I almost know how the fight will go, and most of us do, and that's why I'm like, why can we have a fight that, it is what it is, though. It is what it is. It's okay. It's okay. I'm going to just wait for the Demetrius Andrade fight. Because Demetrius Andrade may be on the undercard. And if he's on the undercard, that means he might get his next. Because I don't think Canelo wants to give Triple G any fucking fight. And if Demetrius Andrade is in line, Canelo just take Demetrius Andrade. Be like, fuck you, GGG. We're going to have the Demetrius Andrade. I can see him. Because everything Canelo's doing to Triple G is this. All the time. Canelo be just looking at Triple G and doing this too. Fuck you, Triple G. Fuck you. I'm going up to 175. The thing that you said you were going to do. Fuck you, Triple G. I can see him doing that all the time. I can almost hear him saying, Triple G. They want me to face Triple G a third time. Fuck Triple G. I can see Canelo being really pissed about Triple G. Anybody mentions Triple G, he's like, fuck Triple G. I think Triple G recently replied to Canelo as well. He was like, I think he called him a ducker or some shit like that. He's not a real fighter. I could just see Canelo muttering under his breath, fuck you, Triple G. Oh my God. Man. Johnny Boy's funny, though. He got jokes. He does have jokes, man. I do agree that Canelo's resume is kind of smoke and mirrors. Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, what people don't realize is for the bulk of his career, he was just kind of building. And it's only after the Josecito Lopez fight he really fought started fighting people. And even when he was fighting people in between, he really had this elevated stay busy fight. So a guy that was considered really good, like Alfredo Angulo, man, he almost stopped Araceli Lara. He dropped him twice. And Canelo's like, that's fodder for me. I love that fight. Bring it on. Right? And then, James Kirkland was a terror. He stopped this dude and he stopped that dude. And the Canelo's like, bring it on. He's fodder for me. He ain't got no fucking defense. You know what I mean? And so you see those kinds of fights in between. People make excuses and stuff, but I don't care if Ann Wolf was in James Kirkland's corner or not. Canelo was gonna knock his ass out. Because he don't have defense. He don't have fucking defense. You can't be walking up in the Canelo and you ain't got no fucking defense. You gonna use your face? Man, he gonna pound you, man. You got to have defense. And Danny Jacobs had defense. Kudos to him on that one. He had pretty good defense. Canelo couldn't catch him flush all the time. And that's what I like about Danny Jacobs. Danny Jacobs is a real thing. Danny Jacobs is a real fighter. He's real. He's very skilled. I think Demetrius Andrade is real and skilled. Not as experienced as Danny Jacobs. I think Danny Jacobs got a lot more experience than him, but he's got the tools to beat Canelo if he could pull it off somehow, some way. You think about Billy Joe Saunders, it get me excited because Billy Joe Saunders again is another guy who can box. He really can box. There's no fake hype on this kid, And I'd love to see that fight with Canelo, or I'd love to see Billy Joe Saunders and Demetrius Andrade face each other. I really love that. That when that fight was announced, I was like, God damn, this is a great fight right here. If you like boxing. Shit, the fight fell apart. Couldn't believe it. But these are fights that you really look forward to. Those are fights I look forward to. It gets me all pumped. I'm like, oh, God damn it, that's a good fight. GGG versus Derevyanchenko. Oh, God damn it, that's a good fight. Because Derevyanchenko could beat GGG. He could. It's very possible. But at the same time, GGG could beat his ass. So that's very probable as well. You know what I mean? And that's what makes it a good fight. I like fights like that. Spence versus Sean Porter. Everybody feel they know what is going to happen. We don't know what the hell is going to happen. And that's what I love about that fight. That fight gets my juices going. I'm like, yeah, that's a good fight. And for those people saying PBC don't put on good fights, that's a good fucking fight. It's a pay-per-view, but I mean, it's a good fight. It's a good fight. It's a good fight. Jamal Charlo versus Tony Harrison. I think Tony Harrison beats Jamal Charlo again. But hey, it's a good-ass fight. I want to see it. I just don't know. Get Jamal Charlo might knock Tony Harrison's ass out. We don't know. We got to see it. And that's what makes those fights. And by the way, that fight's coming up at the end of this year, I think. GGG has a legendary resume with spectacular victories over Marco Antonio Rubio and Dominic Wade. GGG easily destroys Monzon. Oh my God, it's almost 9 o'clock in the night. I can't be yelling so loud. Oh my God, that's so fucking funny. Carlos Monzon, not Carlos Monzon, man. He got a great jab. Carlos Monzon was trouble. You guys made me think about that. Yeah, they had weight restrictions then too. Same day weigh-ins. Monzon's actually smaller than Triple G, I think. I think Monzon's smaller than Triple G though. See, that's what I like about the Zone. They give you such great matchups. One guy was saying how the Zone does shit fights, and I'm like, what are you talking about, man? But, it is what it is. Them dogs about to kill the guy delivering your pizza, fam. Oh, you're hearing it in the background. The dogs. Nah, they're Rottweilers. They're not my dogs. My neighbor's dogs. They bark about everything. Currently on page 30 of ranked middleweight on BoxRec, speculating on what GGG's next opponent will be. Nope. In this case, thank God it's Derevyanchenko. He's fighting Rod Salka after Derevyanchenko. Y'all like too much stupidness. Stop clowning Triple G, man. He's going to fight DeMarcus. Old ass lightweight DeMarcus Cawley. That's funny, man. DeMarcus Cole keeps himself in shape though. Derevchenko was getting stalked down by Jack Cocaine. Bad call by the judges and terrible bias commentary. Yeah, Jack Cocaine did actually. I think he kind of won that fight against him. That's true. Monzon had a long reach for a guy his height though. Hell of a fighter. I'm talking about some really great fighters right there. Koke beat Derevchenko. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Monzon was the greatest 160 pounder ever. I can't really discredit it. I can't. He never got beaten as a champion. Almost got his ass beat though by the last guy. Almost got his ass beat. Colombian dude. I mean, Marvin Hagler was a bad motherfucker. Monzon versus Marvin Hagler. Who you got? And do you think Marvin Hagler actually lost to Sugar Ray Leonard? I don't. But a lot of people think he did. I thought his body punching was underrated. I thought his body punching, the judges didn't score that. They looked at Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard stole the hearts of people. That's my personal opinion. Anyways, man, that's it for me tonight. It was nice talking with you guys. It's 9 o'clock in the night. I need to go and get something to eat. Then I need to take a bath. Then I need to get ready for tomorrow. You guys are not going to see me commenting on boxing for a little bit. Don't worry about it. It's just me getting ready for preparations for certain things I have to do later on in the week. If you see me do a boxing video, great. But more than likely, that's it for me in boxing videos until the following week, the next week. Okay? That's when you guys are going to actually see me light up the place with boxing and talk boxing. So you're talking about in the month of October. Can't believe the year is rolling around so fast. That's it. Monzon is greater than Harry Crab? Well, I can't say. I've never seen Harry Crab, really, honestly. I think Monzon is, like you said, Monzon's probably the greatest middleweight ever. It's possible. Champion, that is. Middleweight champion. It's very possible. He got the record to show for it, and he fought some guys, man. He fought dudes. He almost got his ass beat, though. Didn't he die of suicide or some shit like that? Or he killed somebody and had to go to jail, some shit like that? He was a playboy and shit. He loved women, man. Argentina and stuff. Yeah, Carlos Monzon. Can't remember if he abruptly died or what. I can't remember. But, yeah. So you guys are saying that Monzon's probably the greatest middleweight ever. There was a couple of great middleweights, though. We had Bernard Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins was a great middleweight. Yeah, we had a bunch of them. Dick Tiger. Emil Griffith. Emil Griffith, I think, dominated welterweight and fucking middleweight. We had a couple of them, man. Then Bernard Hopkins, he dominated middleweight and light heavyweight. Some crazy ass shit. I mean, when you think about it, you're like, Carlos Monzon was good, man. But Bernard Hopkins was a beast. I'm just saying. Roy Jones fucking Jr., yeah, he was a crazy ass middleweight. He went from middleweight to heavyweight. that motherfucker went all the way up. James Toney, too. I mean, we had some crazy ass middleweights. When you think about what these guys did, you'd be like, you kind of scratching your head like, damn. When you really started to think about it. Well, Gene Fuller was a beast. Dick Tiger had his ass, though. But Gene Fuller was a beast. Yeah, there's a lot of great boxers out there, man. Through history. Well, at some point in time, we need to really go through it from as far back as we can to into the future. Just for educational purposes. So there's a lot of fantastic boxers along the way that did phenomenal things. And, of course, as time went along, boxing evolved a bit, and so people did things even more in a certain way and stuff like that. Especially the way Roy Jones did James Toney was nasty, though. Well, James Toney decided to fall for the trap. Roy Jones was sticking out his tongue like a la Sugar Ray Leonard and Muhammad Ali. He was like, nah. So James Toney decided to do it back, and he didn't get into position properly. He just leaned back, and Roy Jones Jr. hit him with that left hook. Boom! Made him stagger all the way across the ring. You don't stand up and watch a guy clong and think you snap back gonna be enough. Leaping left hook in your ass. Boom. And he exaggerated that leaping left hook. That leaping left hook came from way out there. He was smart. He knew that the peripheral vision of James Toney wouldn't pick up that left hook until the late. Caught him stink. Boom. James Toney went staggering back. Woo, so good. He counted Tony off for Tony. Yeah, because Tony decided to go for the bait. Red was like, and James Toney thought he could stick forward and then snap back. That's just like going on. That's just like going straight back. If he had snapped back at an angle and pivoted, that left hook would have gone missing, and then he could have just countered his ass with a whatever, with a right hook or whatever. He wasn't smart enough to. You don't ever go straight back because the motherfucker went straight back, so we pay for it. James Toney was one of your favorite fighters of all time. Yeah, he was good. I mean, Reggie Miller beat his ass though. James Dunn was beating his ass. Samuel Peter beat his ass. I'm just saying. And off of the same mistakes that he make. He make the same fucking mistakes every fight. James Toney. Brilliant fighter. Mike McCallum also. You could argue Mike McCallum. Okay, they fought to a draw, but you could argue Mike McCallum beat his ass too in the first fight. Old ass Mike McCallum at that. How you make old ass Mike McCallum make you go to a draw? I mean, come on now. But James Toney was good. I'm just clowning James Toney, but to be honest with you, man was a hell of a fighter. Again, a beautiful inside work, man. That couldn't touch the guy. His movement was beautiful. You know. You gotta love it, man. You gotta love the dude. And he went all the way up to heavyweight. Beat Evander Holyfield. I don't even know if Evander Holyfield was able to lay a single glove on James Toney. Did he ever even tag him? It was so clean. Like the beating was so bad. They said Evander Holyfield had heart problems. I think he had heart problems after that beating. I think James Toney gave him such a beating, he had heart problems. I mean, come on, man. That was beautiful. He pieced up Evander Holyfield like nothing, man. He made it look like it was nothing. Like Evander Holyfield wasn't this great fighter that everybody was making him out to be. Pieced that man up. And let's not forget what he did to John Ruiz. God damn. He was disqualified from that fight, unfortunately, for taking some kind of fucking steroid. But man, god damn, he really beat John Ruiz. I mean, John Ruiz took a beating. Oh, man. I mean, James Toney was something. He was something. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. He considers himself the best defensive fighter ever. I mean, Roy Jones Jr. even acknowledged that James Toney was the toughest fight he ever had. You know. You could touch him on the shoulders. Yeah, I know. Yeah, some people touched him up, though. Reggie Miller touched him up, and Michael Nunn touched him up pretty good. He was getting beat. He was getting outpointed, you know. But he set the bait, boy. And Michael Nunn, with overconfidence, went for the trap. Boom! Because he had his only thing to win that fight was to knock Michael Nunn out. And Michael Nunn fell for it, man. It was great. Set the trap, and Michael Nunn ran for it, and he just hit him with that overhand right. Evander Holyfield. Hey, man, everybody be taking some sort of performance-enhancing drug, man. Everybody in boxing. Once you elite, you probably taking something. It's not just straightforward hard work. No. You taking something. May not be illegal, but now at least, but you taking something. So it is what it is. And back in the 90s, a lot of those heavyweights were taking PEDs. A lot of them. You know, I guess Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis. So it was kind of an even playing field, kind of, when it comes to PED use. James Toney was just lazy. Didn't really have the discipline. This is true. To become the man of his era. But is one of the most naturally gifted fighters ever. I think he was one of the skilled fighters as well. He was very fluid. He was very skilled. He was trained by a very good trainer. It wasn't wild card gym and stuff. His fundamentals came from a Grand Rapids, Michigan trainer, Detroit trainer. Man loved his Burger King. But you get, I mean, again, the one thing people need to understand: James Toney was a big dude. He used to, especially at 160 and super middleweight, he was struggling to make weight because, I mean, of course you have to have a certain. Nowadays, fighters today have more discipline than back in the day. I mean, even now, you guys talk about Adrian Broner and Javante Davis. They don't have the discipline. They just blow up in weight, and then they got to come back down and make weight, right? Errol Spence, y'all might say he's in discipline because when he's in the off season, he kind of blow up in weight and stuff. But honestly speaking, these guys be suffering. You got to understand, Errol Spence walks around what 175, 180, which is Canelo's weight, right? That motherfucker had to shrink all the way down to 147. Then he's with the IBF, which means he can't be 10 pounds over 147. Do you know how much that is tough? Mega Cotto used to be frowsy going into weigh-ins because the man had to make 147. You know that Pacquiao fight, he probably was real frowsy because making 145. A motherfucker walk around 160 something. 170 something, you know what I'm saying? You gotta understand it ain't easy. I'm right now a little bit more dehydrated than I was. So I'm like 162, 161, right now. But when I'm hydrated and when I'm eating properly, I'm 175, right? And I feel the strain on my body when I feel very light. It's not cool, you know. But if I have to make 154, which is a couple more pounds, I've got to get that weight off, you know. Because if I walk around 175 and I got to fight at 154, I got to be able to make that shit, you know. So, yeah, especially them last couple pounds, man, it can be torture to get that shit off. But you got to exercise like crazy. You still eating normally. You 3 meals a day and all that shit. You just what you eat now is more for lean muscle, lean meats, lean muscle, that kind of stuff, you know. Anywho, man, I gotta get out of here. Let me get out of here. And man, it was nice talking with you guys. And let me see what you guys saying right now. Conor McGregor to me looks like the Burger King guy from the commercials. I remember being drained playing basketball. It's like my consciousness switch on and off at times. You start to feel shaky and weak. Right. But once you're losing weight over time, you get used to it. You get used to the lightness and stuff. But remember, once you've lost the weight and stuff, you can put it back on. So it's just about staying within range so that you just lose that last set of water from your body. Terence Crawford said it was hell to make weight. That's why sometimes he couldn't knock out guys and stuff at 135. It's hell to make that weight, you know. And that's just the way things are, though. That's part of boxing. You got to be able to make the weight. So, Anyways, man, people, it was good talking with you guys. Boxing is 1 hour, 38 minutes, and 19 seconds. I talk boxing all day. I need to go and take a break from talking boxing for a good period of time. But you guys look out. Sean Porter, Errol Spence fight should be good. We'll see what happens with that. And then, of course, we have the Durrell versus Benavidez fight. That looks like a good fight. And then the following week, I think it is, Triple G is going to be facing Derevyanchenko. That should be a good ass fight too. Those are good fights. I'm not going to lie to you. These are good fights you're talking about. I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah. So the Errol Spence Sean Porter fight is a pay-per-view fight. And then you got the pay-per-view card. The Derevyanchenko versus Triple G fight, though, is not a pay-per-view fight, but you do have to have a subscription. Yearly subscription would be good. So it's a subscription fight. So it does. Both fights cost money. The thing about it is, what I was trying to explain to people, but everybody was so rowdy at the time. Everybody wanted to talk. Was that when you're looking at like the PBC, even though they have pay-per-view fights, they don't have a lot of pay-per-view fights through the year. How many pay-per-view fights have we had this year? Spence Garcia, Pacquiao versus Keith Thurman, right? We had, and now we're gonna have Spence versus Porter, right? Have we got any other pay-per-views for this year? No. So 3 pay-per-view fights for the year. I mean, and then the rest of the fights are free. Are you kidding me? So all in all, let's say you spend $75 for a pay-per-view fight. You had 3 of them, which means you spent at the end $225. All right, that is more than a DAZN subscription. But the cool thing about it is you don't have to pay for those fights. You don't even have to, um, because those fights come out the week after. You get to see them, I think, the week after or 2 weeks after they show the fights on Fox or on Showtime. So you don't have to pay for the pay-per-view fights, but if you want to see them immediately, then you have to pay for them. So at the end, you could actually end up having to pay nothing for those fights. And that's the cool thing. You could have all the fights for free. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. But if you want to wait for the fights, you hear about them, you hear people talk about them, you see highlights of them. So at the end, if you look at the PBC model, you could get all your fights for free. When you look at the Zone, I mean, you paying almost next to nothing to see all these fights, and then some of those fights are actually pay-per-view worthy fights, right? So I mean, that's how I look at it. I think the Zone gives the best quality fights, but I do think that PBC, for the fact that most of the fights are free, they give great quality for free fights. So if you remember ESPN and Fox used to feature Golden Boy, ESPN used to feature top ranked fighters and stuff. When you look at the ESPN fights, the Tuesday night fights, they used to call them Friday night fights, they were nothing on the level of what we're getting with PBC. Just not. And so PBC's kind of changed the game, in my opinion. I think that, though, glad that we have DAZN. Glad that we have ESPN Plus. Glad that we have Showtime. Well, HBO's out of the game now. Glad that we have BT Sports. Glad that we got Sky Sports covering boxing, in the UK. Glad we have BT, Sky, and what's the other one? There's another one. And it kind of extends towards Europe. These are the kinds of things we need to have. We don't have, we have also Latino channels like Buxteca, I think it is, and so on. So at the end of the day, what I'm saying is this is good for boxing. It's not bad to have all this plethora of available options towards boxing. And that's what you want. So I hope you guys have a good one. I'm out of here. This is what you need. Don't forget, if you want to subscribe, share, like. But most importantly, if you can donate, please do. Thank you very much. I'm out. Peace. Oh, yeah, so this dude. What is this? Somebody saying something? Real Talk. Shout out to Real Talk, Floyd TBE. Okay. Yeah, he's the best ever. That's his mantra. That's his thing. Hybrid 95, Wilder versus Ortiz. Yeah, 2. Matchroom. Oh, is that right? They're going to have it at Matchroom? Okay, cool. Wherever they have it, it's cool. I don't care. Once I get to see the fight. Hopefully the fight still happens. I think they're saying it's going to be on Fox for free. That'd be cool. Whether it's on Showtime, Fox, I don't know what's going to happen, but we will see. It might end up on Showtime, though. That's my thoughts. All right, people. I'm out. Peace to you guys. Turn off.